Good afternoon and welcome to my conference call today. This is the MikeSherritt.com. Mike Sherritt here on the conference call. That's my blog that I do all these podcasts and conferences from. Now, today we're not going to do a special guest interview. The special guest has some issues that they have to sort out in the personal life. So today I'm going to start off and we'll rearrange the personal development training I was going to do tomorrow. We'll start doing it today and we'll do it every Thursday from now on. I want to go over today about creating the wealth mindset in your mind. I want to explain what the wealth mindset is, and then I want to explain something called the law of abundance, because having the law of abundance will give you the wealth mindset. So if I explain both to you on this call, you're going to have a better understanding of what the wealth mindset is and what the law of abundance is, because if you understand these two concepts, you'll do very well in life. Now, having a wealth mindset can bring you lots of good fortune. After all, what the mind thinks it really creates. Before you go on dismissing this concept, why don't you give it a try? What do you have to lose, right? The wealth mindset is very, very easy to apply in your life. It won't cost you a single cent, and it takes proper perspective on life and shows you how to find yourself a richer, fuller life in more ways than you can imagine. Here's some tips that's going to help you along the way. So if you've got a pen and paper, start writing these tips down. Wealth tip number 1, more is more. If you want to adapt the wealth mindset, you have to start thinking big. Start thinking that more is more. This is not a time to be shy with your thoughts. Don't let your parents' modest thinking bring you down either. Concentrate on wonderful aspects of life. The great things that you have already that make you a rich person. Do you have a great family? Focus on that. Do you have good friends? Focus on that. Do you have a good job? Focus on that. There are loads of different ways in life that you can help attract more abundance. Whether it's the weather today or the dollar you found that lie on the sidewalk, it doesn't matter. Simply dwell on what makes you feel good about you and yourself, and the rest is going to follow. It's an easy concept to take. It's an easy concept not to take as well. So the next one I've got is tip number 2. Out with the old and in with the new. This is what people don't do. They don't get rid of the old stuff, their old friends that are not making them any money, the old job they hate, the life they're leading. They don't get rid of everything. If you want to clear the slate and move into a wealth mindset, you need to make sure you clear the slate of everything that you think that isn't working for you. You need to adapt it, take it out of your life, and start adapting things that are good for you. The saying so old, but it's so true. Out with the old, in with the new. You've got to get rid of the things that you don't want. This is the main thing. It's also a part of having the wealth mindset. Now, what's the use in keeping old clothes if you can't fit into them anymore? What's the use of your Tupperware collection when you haven't used them in years? Sometimes getting rid of old and unwanted stuff paves the way for new things to enter your life. You can either sell some of your stuff online, or you could give it away to charity. If you give it away to charity, you'll bring abundance to you a lot faster than you'll think, which is a wealth mindset. Tip number 3, before I explain the law of abundance. Just to get you going and get you in this mind of wealth mindset, is start taking control of your life. If you want to have a wealth mindset, you need to take control. You're not going to let the debts or financial accounts affect you too much. Tell yourself at least you know what you're up against. Don't be intimidated by how much you owe the bank or your mother, or for that matter. Create a plan to work your debt off slowly and surely. The feeling of control helps you stay afloat, and the money madness may not even be going on in your life. The control you give yourself resonates through the universe, which means how much control you have in your life means how much prosperity and wealth you bring to you. Before long, you're going to be able to tell yourself just how much you can earn, and the said salary will soon find itself to you. Having a wealth mindset is important. It can not only improve the way of your living, but it also is a way to see yourself and handle obstacles. So if you take these 3 tips, more is more, outwardly old, and start taking control of your life, just these 3 tips will give you a massive benefit to what you want to be doing, which is creating the wealth mindset. It's all about, like yesterday we had an interview with Joel Burrell, and he was on about you've got to get what's going on in between the ears under control before you can start making money. And it's true. If you don't understand how your mind works and how your body works and how you think, how can you understand how to make money with yourself? How can you make yourself wealthy? You can't, because you don't have an idea of how you work. So I'm going to explain something for you now. It's called the law of abundance, and I'm going to give you some truth about it. Now, since time had begun and humans were in race, we've been inclined to be selfish, fearing to part with any of our possessions, fearing they may not be able to replace them in life. Nature, on the other hand, is constantly giving more trees, more grass, more fruit, more vegetables, because they know they're going to be coming back in the spring. Have you ever heard of living creature of any kind dwelling in its natural habitat and starving to death? There is no draft on raw materials. The earth is ever ready to give generously from its stores of minerals and vegetables, like I just said. There's no thing about the way that raw materials are going to be removed. And we do make raw materials into manufactured products, so they're always going to be there forever. That's the reason why it was so successful in the 1900s. If this is true, why do people have a difficulty in buying the products? Why do they lack in money? Lots of people ask it. Hoarding money instead of buying products is the answer. A journalist that I found really interesting once said to me, wealth is not his who has it, but his who enjoys it. If all money should be kept in circulation, there would be work for everyone, and everyone would have sufficient money with which to buy not only the necessities in life, but a good number of luxuries too. Such a condition sounds like utopia. But as good as it seems on the surface, I am not sure that I favour it. Incentive would be gone, wouldn't it? One would be inclined to do just enough to enable him to earn his share and nothing further. It is the man of vision who builds a state, industries, cities, who keep the wheels of progress turning and inspire others to do likewise. There is a lot of abundance, and the amount of worldly goods will require and be acquired is direct proportion to the heights of which he raises his sights. Which broken down basically means the higher you set your bar of what you want, the higher you get. Statistics show that only 5% of the population of successful people from this financial point of view, only 5% of people. This figure will appear dismal to negative people, but to others it will be heartening. To you, who are developing a positive attitude, a positive mental attitude, this statistic shows how much room there is at the top. And with your determination, you'll reach it. Just think of the odds that are in your favor. If you were to go prospecting for gold or some other precious metal, you would seek in an area where the service indicates showing that the mineral that you were looking for might be there. You would spend much time and considerable money in determining whether or not your guess was right. In attempting to take advantage of the Lord of Abundance, you begin with the knowledge that the key to the quest lies within your own mind. As to how much you will draw from the source of abundance depends entirely upon your success consciousness. Statistics, like I said, only show that the population of successful people is 5%. So in attempt to taking advantage of a lot of abundance, you need to begin to get the knowledge to the key to the quest lies in your own mind, like I said, just. As to how much you draw from it and how much you take away from doing it, no doubt your mind will win. If you keep pushing your mind for success, you will get success. You'll strive to do it and you'll take control of it. It's like, once I was giving a lecture to someone in a lot of abundance, and someone approached me and with great enthusiasm admitted, I've always wished that I could be rich, but beneath the wish is a feeling that riches were never intended for me. After that talk of yours, I now feel I can be rich, and I'll stop nothing that means that I'll get at least $1 million in the bank. This boy that I spoke to, this person that came up to me in the lecture, he had no money at all. He had no prospects for much. But somehow I believed him. His sincerity and his confident manner made me feel as that he's not indulging in wishful thinking. Less than 2 years from that, I met this enthusiastic fellow. He phoned me up and he invited me to his club for lunch. At the time, I was like revealed that he's got a personal fortune and he's passed $1 million mark and he's still climbing. I'm not so fortunate with most people I lecture to get that result, but it was something that I felt proud of. And I must agree, to have someone getting the riches like that, it made me feel special. It's that I was teaching people the right things. I recall another case of a man who came to me with an enthusiastic remark that he could now see the light that was going on to be rich. Quite some time later, he came to me and he started bragging the fact that he was going to be the new mental attitude had clearly doubled his income. And I turned around and said, "Are you rich now?" I waited for his answer. "Not exactly," said the guy. And that's what he said to me in a really firm voice. Riches are a little bit too much to expect in such a short time. And I thought, this man's belief doesn't extend beyond his increase of his income. Perhaps he should try to change his outlook on what he's thinking of being rich. So I said, all right, if I changed mental attitude to make you be able to double your income, why haven't you grown mentally to this point where you can see yourself being really rich? He then gave me a firm, really answer, and he said, well, I don't know. It's a way that you possess that feeling in your brain, in your mind, in your body, in your soul, that gets you the answer to being rich. And I don't just mean rich in money. I mean rich in life. Rich friends, as in really caring, good friends, and a rich outlook in life, which means you see everything in a good, positive attitude, and you perform everything to a point where you don't have to do anything. A man in Florida that I once knew very, very well amassed millions of dollars, but through unsound investments, he's lost it all. He's made it back again from what he's done. But all this man was unhappy about his loss. It didn't discourage him. He got back on the tracks and again became another millionaire. It's the way that you turn things around. It's the way that things affect you in life. It's the way that you keep possessing these ideas to create what you want in life. You've heard the story, I'm sure, about a person who spent a few days with family who members were congregation, and during this dinner time and conversation with Faith, do you believe that the Bible, that the faith can move mountains? Asked the husband. Yes, I do, the person said calmly. All right, tonight I'm going to go to bed with the belief that the mountain facing our home will be gone in the morning. The next morning, he eagerly looked out the window, seeing the mountain still empty. I knew it wouldn't go away. Many times we think that faith is nothing but wishful thinking. We're sincerely trying to believe, but long-established patterns of doubt in our minds breaks through and neutralizes the thoughts that we have hope, which become beliefs. It may sound strange to you, but many causes for a person will subconsciously resist the positive thoughts that he works on consciously in his mind. This is usually and unusually due to a guilt complex of some sort. He may assume that sometime he may feel as though he's not entitled to the best things in life. Under such conditions, he will attempt to tap the ever-present source of abundance and diffuse harm. You ever felt like you get that feeling of guilt? Should one who sinned be held back from success and happiness? It's a question, isn't it? If the answer is yes, then there wouldn't be many successful people about, would there? Or happy people. Because who, honestly, can say that they've never sinned in any way? Here's another question I'd like to ask. When one is held back through a sin, is he helping anyone? The answer is going to be what, you think? It's going to be no, isn't it? If he goes through life as a failure, he cannot be considered a good provider for his family. He's not helping his community. He's become a failure. He cannot be a customer in stores that he patronizes. If through introspection you find that you've been nursing a feeling of guilt, determine you will make an asset of it. You will profit by far as your future conduct is concerned. You will even do all you can to help others from making the same mistakes you made. Doing this will actually mean that your mistakes are provided to be a blessing to humanity. Clearing your conscience from elements that have been disturbing you will enable you to entirely take a different attitude toward yourself. You'll be able to consider success and happiness to be your rightful heritage. There'll be a case of a man who twice attempted suicide, who was always wishing he was dead. He was induced to visit a psychiatrist who, after probing his early life, made an interesting discovery. In his early 20s, this man got really heavily in debt, and instead of trying to pay off his bills, he moved to another sin. When the psychiatrist told him it was too late to make amends and pay off those old creditors, the patient said it'd been so many years he'd forgotten who most of them were, and if he could remember, he couldn't find. Lean back in being honest in all your present dealings of mankind, and every chance you have of helping a needy person. Do so in the name of those creditors who lost the money through you. This will relieve your conscience and enable you to be able to live, the psychiatrist advised him. He suggested a proven way to be a magic formula. He started for the sole purpose of being able to help others. He bought inspirational books by the dozen to give those who he could help. He started a business and employed physically handicapped men. Before this awakening, the man with a guilty conscience was not happy. He just made enough of success to be able to enable him to live. But what a revelation. With a freed mind from his guilt, he did big things because he felt he was entitled to do so. But best of all, he is now ideally happy. Do you know why so many people go to higher prison people that are on parole? Who committed crimes against gaining people from freedom? They have guilty consciences. They look at themselves as criminals and do what criminals are expected to do. Those capable of cleansing our people with their hearts and souls, and of all the people that are ill and and sick and need help have felt themselves to be ways to make successes in life. Ex-convicts who are big enough to realise that guilt is part of the price and they must pay for their crimes will live it down in time and gain the respect of those that know them. So this is going to be the end of the call today. I hope you've got a lot out of the Law of Abundance and the wealth mindset. If you have any questions on that, the podcast will be on my blog, themikesherritt.com. That's themikesherritt.com. If you Google me, you will be able to find me. And again, see you again tomorrow on there. I'll speak to you soon. I'll see you all at the top.